Toni Storm says WWE crushed her love for wrestling. Plus, another former WWE star has opened up on their company departure. And a released NXT star made a shock in-ring return yesterday. It's all in the wrestling news right now. Crushed my love for wrestling. Really strong words. Toni time.
It is Toni time.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's one thing about Toni Storm that we've learned, it's that she doesn't mince her words, and I like it. She's a real straight talker. she doesn't care, and I think that's refreshing, honestly, in wrestling.
Here's what she said on the sessions with Renee Paquette about her very sudden departure from WWE. She said, "I had some good times. It was cool at one point, and then it wasn't. My main goal in wrestling was to be on Raw or SmackDown. And then I got here, figured out pretty soon, it's just not going to work out. I'm 26. I want to have a really good time in this job. I want to have a really good career. I want to enjoy part of it, and I wasn't enjoying it for so long. I abruptly quit. I woke up the morning having no idea that I was going to quit. The frequent releases were said to have been a reason for her leaving."
Yeah, right.
She said, "Let's face it, they just fire people left, right, and centre out of the blue." This is Toni talking. "I could be fired next week." And it's like, what's the point? Just felt very pointless, to be honest. I'm not mad. I'm not angry at WWE. I'm sure they've got bigger fish to fry than me. Why do they care? They don't give an SH1T. Why should I? This isn't going to work. I know what's going to happen here. I'm just going to be sent back to catering again. I didn't feel that appreciated. And I just felt they, at times, didn't have very much respect for me. I feel like over time, they just crushed my love for wrestling." You're not even allowed to say wrestling, says Toni. "I thought my whole purpose in life was to go to WWE, but then over time I realized it's just pro wrestling that I love. It's not a company that I love." There's a really valid point in there.
Do I have for everybody's attention now? It's such a pipe bomb, Tom. She's really laid into them. But it's all...
flipping mark!
Yeah.
Lean in and do that.
But it is, you're right, it's full of valid points. But what was the one you were going to especially
It's
point out?
more the case that she says there, like, it's not a company that I love, it's pro wrestling that I love. And I think that as wrestlers and also as fans, we tend just to go, I support WWE, I support AEW, and therefore everything they do is right. I'm not allowed to veer from this
I think that's quite a recent phenomenon, but yeah.
I think it's something that exists in a lot of sports, but I think we've seen it especially in the recent times. And I know there'll be people that will come out today and give a lot of grief to Toni Storm for daring to say something against WWE. I'll get a lot of grief for kind of siding with her. But then here's the thing. That system, WWE system, isn't for everyone. AEW system isn't for everyone. Impact system isn't for everyone. New Japan system isn't for everyone. Not anything is exactly strictly for everyone. So Toni knew pretty much that the system that she was in with WWE wasn't her vibe. So she went elsewhere. And we should all be like that, really.
Yeah, totally. I think she's in an advantageous position because she's got a good reputation amongst, people in wrestling. They know that she's very good. And as she points out here, she's still very young. She's still got a lot of time to build her career and do what she wants. And I think that, if she was unhappy there, then if she knew she was going to be able to go to AEW, for example, then why not? It's probably worth a go because she knows that that's probably going to be, it'll at least only be a sideways move because she seems very unhappy in WWE, so she might as well risk it, I suppose.
And you know what? We may be chatting 6 months down the line, and Toni Storm may go, you know what? AEW's way of things isn't for me either.
Maybe I want to join Cultaholic and become a news presenter.
She'd be very welcome to.
Yeah, of course. Well, don't come for my position, Toni, but that's all right. You get to know I'm so...
Fight. Oh no, that would be terrible, having Toni Storm sat next to me.
Oh, shut up. I'm really good. I'm really good at this. Thank you,
You are
Tom.
very good at this, mate. You're helping me through it today. You do your best.
I do my best.
And this is your thing. So
Toni.
I love how we now think that Toni's coming. She took her germs.
Take my germ.
Kairi Sane also spoke about her departure from NXT.
Yes, she did. She spoke to Entame Next about her WWE departure, saying, "When I left Japan in 2017, I promised my fans that I would go on a long journey, but that I would come back growing up. I lost my best friend to illness, and I made a vow at her graveside and promised to make it happen. I was going to participate in WrestleMania. Thanks to that, I was able to compete in 3 WrestleManias. I had a title match with Asuka year as the Kabuki Warriors, became a champion in both NXT and WWE, and even received an award for the NXT Overall Competitor of the Year. What a year she had, by the way. She was fantastic.
Amazing year.
She goes on to say, after I moved to the US, my personal life was secondary to my professional life, and I was flying around and competing 4 times a week without a break. Then the pandemic hit, and suddenly I had time to myself. Then I took the time to do some introspection, and I thought, where am I going to go from here? I had a sense of accomplishment that I had fulfilled my promise to my best friend, and that I had done everything I could in my 3 years with WWE, and after several consultations with WWE, I decided to leave. Fair enough, I suppose.
Ungrateful. No, I'm joking.
No,
That's a joke. No, it is. I think a lot of people went through what Kyrie's saying went through during lockdown and the pandemic and stuff, where we all just pulled away from our usual routines and just went, am I happy doing what I'm doing now?
Yeah, there was
I had moments like that.
There was a lot of time to think. Too much time to think, you might say, during the pandemic.
A lot of time to think during that. So,
she also talked, about returning to Stardom, saying, after I returned to Japan, I had not been watching professional wrestling with much enthusiasm, but when I went to Stardom's Budokan last year, the feeling of I want to fight with everyone someday came up from my heart. However, even if I were to return, it would be the first time in about 2 years that I would be in the ring. The pacing of the matches and the rules were different from those in WWE, and I wasn't even sure if I would be able to adapt quickly. However, I had been training in the gym even when I was not competing, so I was in good physical condition.
And we saw her doing her thing, and she was excellent.
Yeah, still excellent. So it's good to hear from her, because there was a sense of mystery about her departure from WWE. I remember everyone was like, what's going on? Are they not using her? Then there were reports coming out like, oh, she's been seen back in Japan. It was all a weird time. So I'm glad that she's been able to tell her side of the story.
It's funny. It's quite serendipitous that Kairi Sane and Toni Storm stories have kind of come out in the same time frame, because there's a lot of parallels you've drawn between the two. Two that sort of very mysteriously, after being given so much, just suddenly vanished from WWE, been a bit of a cloud of mystery. 2 people who have both come out and gone, actually, I'm just ready for something new.
Yeah.
And whilst WWE is seen as like the top of the tree and the ultimate dream, sometimes you get there and you go, okay, this isn't for me. And also, they're 2 people that are still flipping young.
Oh yeah.
And they've got so much time on their side to make more memories.
Isn't it? It's just disgraceful. No, I totally agree, and I think that clearly Kairi can still do it, and I wonder if the last part of that interview that we read out there about returning to Stardom and the different rules and everything, is that slightly in kayfabe? Has she been a big old baby face, or is she just that lovely? Is she just that nice?
I think she's just that lovely, to be honest with you. I think she's genuinely just that lovely. We'll end on a little bit staying in Japan with an NXT star who made a very shock return. Shock because, I think this person had fallen off the radar, and then when they walked out at Korakuen Hall, we went, oh. Okay.
They'd mainly fallen off the radar. I did see a match from this person on Fight over WrestleMania weekend. They were at Bloodsport.
Yes, they were.
Apart from that, you're right. They hadn't really done. I think they also lost there, which was a surprise. But they haven't really done much. It's Timothy Thatcher, who has debuted for Pro Wrestling Noah at Star Navigation 2022 in Korakuen Hall, as you say. He was the mystery teammate in a multi-man tag match. He was teaming with I'll try my best. Hideki Suzuki, Takashi Sugiura, Rene Dupree. I don't know. No, I know these boys. Some of them used to be regulars on Wrestlers of the Week, but I never knew if I was pronouncing their names right. Rene Dupree and Iho de Dr. Wagner Jr. in a 10-man tag team match, facing off against Go Shiozaki, Kaito Kiyomiya, Michael Elgin, Masa Kitamiya, and Yoshiki Inamura.
Nice, well done.
Look at that. I've been to Japan.
You did go to Japan that time. You had a lovely time.
It was, the food was amazing. And the wrestling was all right as well. It was pretty good. But no, you're right. He had slightly fallen off the radar. And then when he walked out, God, it caused a stir on Twitter. There were arguments popping off about this. There were people saying, oh, well, this is a weird move for Thatcher. And then people go, well, you only like boring wrestling. And then I think, and I don't know if this was the same argument or if I just saw 2 different arguments on my timeline at the same time. There was like an America versus England thing where one person was going, English wrestling fans hate everything they watch, which is true. And then English people go, well, America's stupid. And I was just like, is this, and I could be wrong, but I was like, has this all been caused by Timothy Thatcher debuting in Noah? I don't understand.
It's literally the only person called Thatcher in the UK that we like. We've got no issue with Timothy Thatcher. No, see, just like what you like, it's fine. I think that's a real running theme through this video.
Well, he could be in, absolutely. He could be in for a push because he did get the win for his team via submission and is scheduled to compete against Shuhei Taniguchi in singles action on today's show, I believe.
I believe that match will have been going out, will have happened, or is about to happen by the time this video goes out.
Fair enough.
Judging by times and stuff like that. So, hey, you might see some more arguments popping off on the old Twitter a little later on today, all about the wrestling.
Absolutely.
I saw Rene Dupree's name in there. He was a guest on Desert Island Grabs a little while ago. Nice to have a chat with Rene Dupree about stuff.
I listened to your recent Desert Island Graps with my former colleague at WCPW, HT Drake. An underappreciated legend of the UK wrestling scene, I believe.
He really, really is.
And a lovely guy. So I'd recommend people checking that out. Where can they find it?
You can get it on the podcast feed. Just search Cultaholic wherever you get your podcast from. There's a brand new episode dropping today with the violence artist Charlie Evans, Australia's deathmatch scrapper, for lack of a better term. She's amazing. She's got a new book project coming out tomorrow, so she comes and talks about it. She's got a massive love for the nightclub Planet in Wolverhampton, which we talk about as well as picking 3 wrestling matches that she'd watched while stranded on a desert island. You can hear it on the podcast feed. You can watch it if you are one of our amazing Patreons. Patreon.com/Cultaholic. If you sign up today, you'll see Charlie Evans a little bit later on. And I think HT Drake's one's already on there as well, and loads of other good stuff as well. That's all on there as well. He's on Twitch in a bit.
I'm
doing
on Twitch
Cultaholic
tonight,
FC.
6 p.m. UK time. Check that out if you like Football Manager.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of another football chant. You'll never walk alone.
You'll never walk. It's more of a song.
It's all gone quiet. It's all gone quiet. It's all gone quiet over there.
Over there.
That's when the fans are being not noisy. More news throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Stay safe.
Love you, bye. I did your thing.
Oh, you got in there before me. Sunland. That's lovely.